Hi there, YouTube. There's just a couple of things I want to harvest in today's video before we get our extreme freezes next week. Like the temperatures take a nosedive. We're gonna be in the 20s at night. So it is time to just harvest everything. And one of the things I'm most excited about harvesting and preserving for Thanksgiving time is this celery in the raised bed. It is my first year growing celery from seed. And both of my plants did really well. The one that I had earlier this season got a lot bigger, but it ended up bolting and it got woody, so I wasn't able to harvest it before it's good. But this one has not bolted at all. There are a couple nice stalks in there, and I think that this will be enough celery at least for our Thanksgiving stuffing if I freeze it. While we're over here, I just have to show you, look at the volunteer snapdragons. Is this not the most beautiful thing in the world? So pretty, so late in the season. It was such a nice surprise seeing these bloom like this. Like, I did not expect the volunteers to come back and be this prolific and beautiful, but they really are. I love snapdragons in my zone, and they did it in this bed too. I love how they're like curling down. I really need to cut some of these snapdragons for a flower arrangement. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice there was a mini melon in here. My other melons were not good this year, and obviously this melon is not gonna be good. It's so tiny. Surely that's not gonna be good. It feels very hard, but it doesn't look ripe at all. And then the other thing that's really pretty in this area is this gomphrena. Okay, enough focusing on pretty stuff. Let's harvest this celery. Oh my gosh, it smells so much like celery. I mean, it is celery, but every time you grow something and it's just like the grocery store, you're shocked, or at least I am. They're not the biggest stalks in the world, but it's my first year. Some of the stalks are nicer. That's like a nice stalk right there. That's the nicest stalk yet. That one's nice and thick. And that's what I ended up with. I'm gonna take this inside, I'll chop it up, and then I will freeze it, and I'll make sure to remove all the leaves as well. And I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the plant. If I can. Dang, the celery was rooted. Ugh. Yeah, like that's all roots. Whoa, and those are some thick roots. Mm. Mm. Okay, I had no idea celery rooted like this. I definitely think it's better suited for in the ground with roots like this. Oh my goodness. Try to get as much soil off as possible. Like that is quite a root ball, wow. It's crazy I took all that soil out of that bed and it doesn't even look like I took any out. It's like still level. That's crazy, huh? Excuse the lighting. The sun is like so high in the sky right now, but this is the time I have to do these projects, so we're gonna get them done. The next thing I wanna do is dig up things that I wanna save over the winter time. And I think this year I'm gonna save my Dusty Miller. I have never overwintered Dusty Miller before, but I have grown it from seed, and I've noticed that it's a very easy plant to take care of inside. I love how big these have gotten, and they normally take all season long to get to be this big if you grow them from seed. So I was thinking maybe I could dig these up, pot them up, put them in my little indoor greenhouse downstairs in the basement and keep them over the winter, and then maybe I won't have to grow these from seed again next year, or if I do, they'll just be bonus plants. Getting these out of this is really not easy because they've rooted into the liner. That's the thing about cocoa liners, is that plants love them. They will root right into the liner, and then it makes it really difficult to get things out, particularly if they were happy like these Dusty Miller were. See, like that's one plant, and that looks like 2 or 3 of my seedlings this year. Like it just looks so full. I'm definitely keeping these. I'm gonna clean them up really fast before I put them in the basket, which means I'm just gonna take out any of the fallen leaves that have accumulated inside of these. I'm also gonna take off any of these leaves that look bad just to clean it up. And then for now, I'm just gonna place it in a basket. I'm gonna collect these, and then we will repot them indoors. see how much of the liner it wants to take with it because it literally rooted into it. Ugh. And that is another nice Dusty Miller. I'm gonna leave the salvia because it's the last little bit of color that we have. I wonder if they have seed pods. I think they do. I think they do. And I just bought all that seed. Y'all, this Dusty Miller is so beautiful in the basket. Why do I kind of just want to plant it in the basket and have it as like an indoor arrangement? I seriously might do that because it looks so pretty. And the final thing I want to try to dig up and save over the winter are geraniums. I have a few in the lion planters in the courtyard area that I need to dig up. But I also have some in an urn in the back. And I know what I said. I said I was done with geraniums, but so many people left me comments saying that you probably are just under fertilizing them, that they've had similar experiences that I did when they first started growing geraniums. And so I think I'm gonna dig these up and I'm gonna try to really fertilize them next year and see if I can get them to be really big and beautiful like some of the geraniums I've seen in my neighborhood. Hopefully by saving these, it'll give me a leg up next year because I'll be starting with a little bit more mature plants. So maybe I'll get more of the results I'm kind of looking for from geraniums. I'm probably just gonna pot all these up in a nice big pot together or in a couple big pots together because they didn't get massive this year. This was their first year from seed. And by saving these geraniums, that'll be one less thing I have to start from seed next year as well, because I start a ton of stuff from seed. And that's that planter. Might as well rip out the petunia too. You guys, I have the best partner. Do you see that? Matt has already cleared this whole field out. That's so gratifying to come out and see that, and garden beds are starting to get emptied out. He's done such a good job. And the last geraniums I want to collect are right in the center of this marigold container. There's like 1 or 2 geranium plants. And that's all of them from that container, another 4 plants. And that's my geranium basket. And something about it looks so charming too. I think that that looks so sweet. Oh yeah, and before we go in, I wanna give one final shout out of the season to the Shockwave Coral Crush Petunia. This is literally October. I'll put the date on the screen because I don't know what the day is, but I know it's late October. Halloween is literally next Thursday. And this still looks amazing. Like, yes, it has a little bit of damage to it from the frost. You can see the blooms are a little bit droopy, but overall, this plant looks absolutely amazing. And it has looked like this literally all season long. It has not skipped a beat. Highly recommend the Shockwave Coral Crush Petunia. Honestly, I recommend any of the Shockwave or Tidal Wave petunias. They are amazing. Oh, the berries are forming on the Sensation honeysuckle. That definitely means winter's coming. I love the way that this has red berries on it. It transitions straight into winter so beautifully. All right, let's go inside and get these potted up. Oh, and I totally forgot I have to put away the celery as well. This looks like such a beautiful harvest to me. Am I delusional or something? But this looks so pretty. The Dusty Miller, the geraniums, the celery. It's gorgeous. I went inside, dropped everything off, and then I realized there's one other thing that I want to show you guys. How to save seeds from a couple of different things. Because once the frost happens, it can damage some of your seeds, so it's kind of better to go ahead and get them while they're nice and dried. They don't have any dampness from a frost or anything. So let's go ahead and collect a couple different types of seed. The thing that I saw while we were out that made me really notice and was like, oh my God, save seeds. My Princess Cake clematis has gone to seed, and those are ready to harvest. Like, you can tell. If you pluck them off, you can see the little seeds on the end of the tails. That's the seeds for clematis. So I definitely want to harvest this, see if I get a clematis true to type or not, because I think that that'll be really, really interesting. And there's tons of seed pods on this side and on this side as well. Ziploc bags aren't the best thing to store seeds in, but I normally store seeds in Ziploc bags if I'm just going to store them for like a season. And I know that the seeds are completely dried, like these ones are. I can feel them and they are really, really dry. So all I'm gonna do is just pluck the seed heads and place everything in there. This is a really simple one to collect seeds from because you plant the tail, you plant the seed, you plant everything. So it's just grab it and put it in the bag. You guys, that's an insane amount of clematis seeds already, and that's just one side. If all of these germinate, I'll definitely be giving away clematis to people. I didn't expect it to produce this many seed pods, but this is its first year where it really produced them. It produced a couple last year, but it was very sparse and few in between. These are a lot bigger. Their texture is different. They're so much drier and fluffier than the ones before. I have a feeling these are gonna be very viable seeds. And that is all the clematis seeds. Wow, it looks like I literally like sheared a sheep or something. All that fluff is so neat. But yeah, that's how you save clematis seeds. The next thing I wanna try to save seeds from is nicotiana. All right, see this pod right here? Oh my gosh, see all those seeds? Tons and tons of seeds. So I wanna go around, pick as many pods as I can and collect these seeds. And I'm just gonna store these in a Ziploc bag as well. Paper is obviously your best option. I have some paper seed packets somewhere, but I went to go look for them and I couldn't find them anywhere. So we're just gonna deal with the good old fashioned Ziploc bag, which will work just fine. And because my nicotiana was a watercolor mix from Select Seeds, I'm gonna try to save seeds from every color in the garden because I really liked how they complemented each other. Complemented it. Also, look at this grass. It's really starting to put on some really neat plumes. Okay, I think I got some from every color and I have that much seed, which doesn't look like a lot, but nicotiana seeds are teeny tiny. They are like little specks, literally. So that's a ton of seeds. That's probably 1,000 seeds right there. And then the final thing I want to show you guys how to do is how to save dahlia seed because it is a little bit different than some of the other ones. You can see that I have my beautiful watercolor dahlia right here, and it has tons of dried seed pods. You want to look for ones where the stem looks brown and the head looks completely brown, and that when you squeeze it, it feels dry. That one feels pretty dry. So all I have to do is then separate it out and put it in a bowl. I'm gonna do that for a couple seed pods for example purposes. See, you hear that sound? It should sound like paper, literally, when you're crumbling them up. So this is what I have collected so far, which is a lot of petals and chaff, but it also contains the dahlia seeds as well. You can see the seeds are normally at the bottom of the bowl because they're the heaviest thing. And there's a seed right there. In order to get the seeds separated from the chaff, I use a process called winnowing. All that means is that I'm just going to blow air and kind of spin this around in a bowl. As I do that, it's going to blow up all of the light debris, all of the petals, all of the like dried leaves and stuff like that are going to come out, and you're going to be left with just seed. This works surprisingly well. I did this earlier this week and saved a ton of dahlia seed, and my seed was so clean. So let me show you guys an example of it. We're gonna do this over here where we have some shade, and I feel like you guys will be able to see a little bit better because it's so bright outside. Anyways, all I'm going to do is just kind of blow into the bowl, and I'm just gonna kind of spin it around as I blow. And you just do this until you're satisfied with the cleanliness of your seed. But this takes me normally about 5 minutes. It also helps if you, in between some of the winnowing sessions, kind of crumple up your seed it gets this chaff separated from the seed so that it can blow away. And as you guys can see here, that seed is fairly clean. There's not much chaff in there at all. I'm just left with seed. It's a really neat process and it works so well. See, look at that seed. That is some pretty clean seed if I don't say so myself. And that should be just enough for our dressing. Normally we buy a big thing of celery and literally the only thing we use it for is our dressing at Thanksgiving, and this is the amount that we normally need. So this is absolutely perfect. I've got to be honest, you guys, I really like the way that this Dusty Miller looks in this basket. So I think I'm just gonna pot up this basket and put it somewhere where it will get at least 4 hours of sunlight, because Dusty Miller will do fine in even part shade. And the way that I'm going to pot it up into this basket is I'm going to line it with a ripped up trash bag so that it can hold the soil into it. It'll be completely watertight, and then I'll make sure just to water these very lightly. Dusty Miller is also very drought tolerant as well, so this should be very easy to take care of throughout the winter time. Okay, so I'm gonna place all my Dusty Miller out of the basket first. I hope the camera is doing justice with how beautiful this Dusty Miller is. Okay, I'm going to dump the soil out onto the inside of the trash bag, and then I'm just going to use the trash bag to line this. I'm not going to cut it until we're all the way done planting it. That way I get a nice seamless edge on the liner. Because in the end, I don't want you to see the liner. I just want it to look like Dusty Miller is planted in the basket. See, you guys, I think it looks so good potted up, and this will be like a little arrangement all winter long. That'll just look beautiful inside. Super low maintenance because Dusty Miller is super drought tolerant, and it will do with part shade. So it should do fine over here next to a south facing window. I like it. Now to pot up these geraniums. I think I'm going to pot them up in this little old window box planter that I have, just because I think I can fit them all in here. And here are all those geraniums potted up in that little window box planter. They're crowded in there, but I think that they'll be fine at least over the winter time. This looks super nice and adds at least some green in here. And yeah, I think that they'll be fine in here in my little greenhouse inside of my closet in my office. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you've been doing to prepare for the winter time. Let me know if you're already done preparing. Let me know when you're expecting your first frost. I'm genuinely curious because this happens every single year and we have to go through it, huh? And some years I'm more on top of it than others. I have lost a hose before in the freeze. I've lost hose in sprayers before in freezes. But this year I feel like I was really on top of it, mainly because I wanted to show you guys me preparing for the winter. So I made sure to do it at the appropriate time. So thanks for keeping me accountable, guys, and I'll see you guys around for whatever video I come up with for next time. Bye, guys.